everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube, or welcome back if this is your sixth Rookie Season 3 episode review. I had to space out there for a bit because, like, what number are we up to? Has it been 6 episodes? Has it really been? It's already been, like, 8 weeks since we started this season. I'm very happy that we're still doing Rookies reviews, and yeah, nothing much to say. This week, honestly, I'm gonna give it this. The Rookie can do no wrong, because I legitimately thought for the first 5 minutes this was gonna be, I think, the weakest episode of the show. I'll tell you that. I was honest. For the first 5 minutes, I got worried. Was this gonna be the first iffy one? And I'm like, oh no, this can't be it. No. And then, nope. It just, like, everything, like, just spiraled in and out. And I'm like, thank God we were picking up speed here. We're picking up speed, and I love it. I loved every moment of it. And yeah, I think this is another strong episode of The Rookie. So it's kind of weird how, like, things kind of like went a little bit up the 360 circle. Kind of weird. So we begin this week with Frack. I forgot where exactly we start. I think I want to say we begin. Yeah, so we begin at the Chen and Wes's apartment, where Chen's, let's just say, mentor. Let's say what's the title? Like the girl she's taking care of, the one she's, like, kind of mentoring. She's over. She was off at Chen's. Oh no, I skipped the butcher recap part. Oh, oof, I forgot. Did I say the butcher? Let's get to the butcher recap, because I think I forgot to say that. Oh my god, I'm so tired. So here's the thing, you know, before I begin this butcher recap proper. I have done so much recording today because I'm gonna be out for a week in terms of, like, actually recording here in the set. I can't explain why just quite yet, but I won't be here, so I'm trying to, like, get a little bit ahead of recording stuff. So this weekend and next weekend, I'm gonna be just recording a ton of stuff, editing a ton of stuff, and then after that, I'm off for a week. I don't call it a vacation per se, because I'm still technically going to be working during that week, in terms of just channel stuff. But I'm trying to get a lot of the stuff out of the way so that when I am away, you'll hear about it soon. I'm going to have, like, a mini slate or a post on the Twitter, so check that out when you're a little bit concerned. So anyway, here we go. So, butcher recap, go through it. Resuming, so she's over. Her and Chen are bonding, like, they're really getting to know each other. Chen's making her, like, a little bit of a dinner because, you know, they're getting a little closer. Even, thankfully, Wes has recovered from most of his injuries. Now he's able to walk and do his usual stuff. So I'm very thankful that the whole Doug thing is behind us for now. Like, at least the current issue with part. I mean, I'm still hopeful he'll come back to continue his story. So, anyway, so it seems like they're bonding more. They're really getting to know each other, and I want to give her. I know she has a name. I completely forgot about it, but she's asking Chen if, like, she can study her or ask her questions about this project she has to do for class, which is about interviewing someone a female who goes into a profession that's mainly meant for men, and since Chen is an officer in a mostly men department, it kind of makes sense. So they agreed to do that the next night. And also that night, already, Jesus Christ, Nolan just went for quickly. He's about to start his first day of college. Well, his first day back at college, because after last week, he really wants to become a TO, so he wants to train the next generation of rookies when it's his turn to train. And even with that being said, he still has to go for college. So I'm getting a lot of, like, weird deja vu, because Nolan's kind of having that first day jitters I did, where I'm just, this is not in the area of my knowledge. I don't know anything about this, and but here we are. So he's calling up Chen and Wes, gonna get, like, some last minute advice before he properly begins his first day, and it goes as fairly often as a Nolan thing would do. He bumbles through his classes, ethics and criminal law, which is very ironic, and I think I did take I did take both of those classes in college, I believe. I don't exactly remember anymore, but I probably did. And so he gets in, very small class, could be COVID, and also it's a night class, so, like, who's going to college in the middle of the night? I don't freaking know. Like, honestly, to God, I cannot imagine sitting in a classroom and looking outside and having it be dark. Unless I had a car, which I still don't. I'm a 23 years old man, and I still don't have a car. So that's very I'm very behind the curve. But anyway, they're having a discussion about cops and all that stuff, and Nolan's still debating like should he reveal to his classmate that he is a cop, but he's still like very iffy on it, considering the fact it's it's ethics in a criminal law class, and he's technically in the field of criminal justice. So that's a little bit of a big red flag, and well, not a red flag, more like what to do, so to speak. So he's kind of struggling through that. The next day, it turns out there's a big undercover conference, which is a very weird thing that I never knew existed, but apparently it does exist. So all the rookies, everyone is on. Well, only the teams of Nolan and Harper and Chen and Bradford are on staff. Wes is off doing the. And actually, I'm so thankful that we got back to it. We're actually back in the neighborhood from the second episode. We're back there. Were reunited with the man who's bonding with Nolan and Harper during that week. So I was like really worried that like, oh my God, like I know I talked about in that episode, like I really hope we come back to this neighborhood. Like I don't want it to be like we're just doing it for like the episode just to like kind of raise awareness, and then we're just gonna like leave it alone for a while or leave it alone for too much of time. But like, I'm very thankful we're back to it, and Wes is the one picking up that storyline, which I'm very thankful because at the moment like Wes is kind of in this new direction where he doesn't really have a TO anymore. Like Lopez is gone. She's the detective now, who's also not in this week. She's I'm guessing there's just like not like how solid this episode was. I was very thankful we didn't get Lopez's storyline just shoot in here because as great this was, I just didn't want to. I didn't want to condense more storylines just to have Lopez in there, or even Sergeant Gray. No, Gray's in this episode. I forgot he did have one scene. Sorry about that, but yeah. So Lopez is not in this week. So who is the new TO for Wes for the remaining few weeks? Turns out it's Smithy. Smithy's the TO, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Smithy's just like one of those characters like you just love to see him around, and he's just so funny. And oh man, he's like, I'm guessing like, hey, look, the best TO's gone. You had a bad TO. We're just gonna give you Smithy's because like, why? Actually, I'm gonna go through Wes's storyline for. I'll cut back to the other two because they're kind of like connected to each other. So yeah, Wes is taking over the center for the week, or at least. He's still. I don't think he. I think entirely Smithy's just his temporary TO. I don't think he's meant to be the permanent TO, considering the fact, yeah, Wes has less than a month to go in the program. So just pair him up with Smithy, finish up the time period in the center, I guess. I really hope we do see more of this next week, but who knows. So anyway, yeah. So Wes touches base with the guy that Nolan and Harper were touching base with during that episode, and he's kind of feel like obviously they have a rapport together since Wes has been by a bunch of time off camera to do tutoring for his kids, but his kids are not in the forefront this week. Another kid, the neighborhood watch kid as they call it, Silas, which is a pretty cool name, honestly. I would name my son that. I'm gonna keep that in mind for the future. He's kind of like being like the police guy, the neighborhood watch that this neighborhood desperately needs. I sound like I'm describing like the Batman that we need for Gotham. Here's Silas, the watcher we need for the neighborhood. I actually would watch that spinoff. So he's actually like a very detailed person. He spends all his free time recording the issues throughout the neighborhood and just like, trying to get in touch with the proper officials, but no one's taking him seriously. Even Smithy's own, even the department that Smithy's uncle apparently works at doesn't even return his calls. And Wes is like, oh, you know what, give me his number. I'll wake some sense up to him. And also the reason is because Smithy apparently owes money. This is why Smithy needs to be involved more. He needs to be like, I want to know more. I want the Smithy story. That's what I want. I want the story of Smithy. That's what I want. But we're probably not gonna get that. I mean, the freaking ABC hasn't picked up my Alan Tudyk spinoff. I think he's in a new show, Alan Tudyk. I have to check. I've seen him in a promo somewhere before. I gotta look that up. But anyway, enough rambling. Let's get back to the storyline. So, while West is finishing up a call with I think it's the sanitation department, I believe. I think it's the sanitation department, or is this like something related to potholes? That's all I remember. he witnesses a guy carjacking a woman who apparently said that her baby's in the car. So Wes goes after the guy on foot. And I initially thought, like, are we gonna get some, like, trauma, like some injury, like setbacks with him, because he's still fresh from the hospital. So I'm not sure if he's 100% back to normal per se, but he's still running after that car. He's calling for backup. Thankfully, the car gets stopped by another obstruction. So he's about to make way and escape by foot, but Wes, being the track and field man that he is, manages to catch him in time. And then we see a horse, and I'm like, a horse? And then we see a man and a cowboy, and I'm like, how the hell did Cordell Walker cross over from my other show I'm reviewing to this one? No, it's not Cordell Walker. It's another police officer on a horse, which I'm surprised. 3 seasons in, and we had not yet seen a cop on a horse. I mean, I've only seen it a handful of times where I live, but in pre-pandemic times. Like, it is so rare for me to see one that I completely forgot that it actually does exist. And the moment he just, like, enters majestically through the scene, it's like, wow, he definitely made a first impression. Like, I'd never seen that before. Well, you know what I mean. So Wes goes to check out on the baby, which turns out to be a dog, and I'm like, yeah, this lines up. This definitely lines up. So they get the guy arrested away, and the Silas comes around with questioning again Wes, and now the other cop, which I completely forgot his name. I'm sorry, but I think he'll probably play a role in the future. I'm not sure. The rookie has a tendency to, like, drop off characters, even though they're against my well wishes. But anyway. Sal's giving another report about what was his report? He had a report that kind of led them somewhere else, but I completely forgot where it was. Yeah, I can't remember for the life of me. But they have a connection there, Wes and this other dude. And then I believe, I want to say the next day, I'm pretty sure I'm missing a scene somewhere. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm missing a scene. But yeah, so the next day when Wes comes back, the man, the good one in the neighborhood, one of the good ones in the neighborhood, he comes over to Wes, telling him that Silas has been beaten up. His bike was stolen, so they both run to his house, and he's scarred. He's bruised. He doesn't want to talk about anything. He's just, like, staying quiet. Wes can't get anything out of him, so he takes his notebook, try to retrace his steps, see what he can find out. He calls in the guy on the horse for backup, and what was I gonna say? Sorry, I'm pulling. Yeah, sorry, my eyes are hurting me. It's been a long day for me. They hit up the last recording he made, which was a broken street light, and they discover across the street the bike, which is, I think, partially broken. So they head over to the neighborhood to the guy, and this guy definitely looks like a hoarder, and he's definitely a hoarder. His hands are bruised up. So yeah, it was him who beat him up. They get in. He tries to escape, but then he inevitably fights back against them. And the guy's like, "Look, this is a typical crazy hoarder. Like, he thinks that Silas was studying him. He was just studying the area, but that's still kind of screwed up. Like, in the way he said, I taught him a lesson. I'm like, shut up, shut up. I don't agree with you at all. You can go to prison. Then as kind of like a recompense for his damages, and also just being nice people. Both West and the other guy buys him a new bike, and it's like Pokemon. It's like, let's let the kid choose. Let's let him choose. And they're, like, having this, like, nice fun and banter. Apparently the guy's done some research, and it's like, well, you probably have some money, with having that actor boyfriend, the Hallmark movie guy from the last last season. Turns out they broke off off camera. I'm pretty sure they broke up because of COVID reasons. They probably couldn't get the actor back, or maybe they did break up in season 2. I completely forgot. It's been a long. It's season 2 was long ago. I'm sorry. I don't have the DVD of it. They haven't released the DVD for Rookie season 2, and they also have now reduced the price for season 1. Okay, cut me a break. So anyway, but they're having a little bit of a fling. They're having a little bit of, like, a romantic back and forth, and the guy's like, you know what? We could talk about this over dinner. It's like, oh yeah, Wes is back out there. I initially thought this guy was going to be his TO. Like, I thought, like, these two had, like, a really solid dynamic. I thought, like, we were going to, like, get them on the roll. Like, maybe, like, just, I know it would have sucked because, like, it would have been temporary, like Doug was going to be, but, it's cool. It's cool. I'm very happy for Wes. Hopefully this turns out something sustainable. And, we don't forget about the other relationships in the Rookie. I mean, We haven't even mentioned Bradford and his long distance girlfriend at all in the last 3 weeks. Not even a peep or a mention. I mean, we live in a world like people could just FaceTime into shows now. I mean, that could be done. Shannon the firefighter, where's he at? Where's he at? I mean, did they just drop him because of the new the caretaker thing? What about Nolan and the doctor lady? Like, he never even bothered to keep fighting for her. You know, fuck, I'm done. I'll shut up there. But that was the end of Wes's storyline. So back to the other one. We're back at the conference. Nolan and Harper working on the inside. Shannon Bradford working on the outside. And there's a lot of like multiple layers to these storylines. So I'm just going to go in order as the episode because this is too complex for my brain to handle. So Shannon Bradford are just checking in on other undercover agents and just checking in their cars, and they're just talking about like circumstances like cops are not allowed to participate in the seminars or even attend the seminars since this is information that's on the very need to know. They can't really be disclosed anywhere else, and cops can't be trusted with this information. Apparently, we get a recognition from Bradford, one of his old friends who's a bit hopped up on drugs and with another woman that's not his wife. So, yeah, that's not really good for him. I mean, the guy's just making excuses, just saying, oh, I'm on pain meds, I got shot. The drugs helped me get eased out, that sort of thing. And the lady's clearly only there for partying sex. That's pretty much it. But Bradford kind of pulls him aside, kind of like gives him a little bit of a wake-up call, but it doesn't really work. They just continue on their way. Then later on, there's another scene where Chen also briefly cuts in. Actually, no, I forgot. I'm not going out of order. I'm going in order. Meanwhile, back on the inside, Nolan and Harper are just talking about things. Nolan pitches her the question about should he tell his classmates about the fact that he is a cop. She's like, no, don't do it. Like, everyone in the shows are basically saying, no. You don't have to. And they're working. Channels also Harper gives Nolan and us a little bit of a breakdown, like the bigger, breaking down the team members of a undercover agent, like the quarterbacks, the tech team, the hackers, that sort of thing. And it was kind of like weird. Like, this kind of felt like a different episode from another show. Ooh. Sorry, yawn finally steeped in. I was trying to fight it for like the past 20 minutes. So also Nolan brings up the fact that Harper actually does she miss this life? She does for a bit in terms of like the action, the thrill of it, but in terms of like the stability and like all the lying and such, she's not a big fan of it. She's glad to be moving on to like just a normal stability life, which I respect. And then Harper gets a call from one of her former colleague, well, not former colleague, but like former partners, a colleague, a friend, asking her like, hey, can you come to the seminar that I was supposed to be teaching? I'm stuck in traffic, so can you just please take care of it? Harper does so. Very empowering speech. Chen watches through, kind of getting also inspired by Harper's words and wisdom, despite the fact she should not be listening to anything she's saying. Even Nolan steps in, tries to pull her away. It's like, you know what? I got enough issues. I'm on very thin ice as is. I just finally built another layer of ice. I am not going to ruin that today. So he heads off to let Chen do her own thing. And even Bradford just also briefly chews her out for like, nah, I'm not following orders and just being away from the seminar. That's basically it. Back on the outside, Chen and Bradford are still taking more people. And ironically, one of the people, it turns out to be the wife of the guy that Bradford just minorly chewed out. Bradford just gives her the heads up, like, hey, yeah, he's in the hotel, he's up in his room somewhat. Chen berates Bradford for not letting her know about her husband's drug problem and potential cheating, but Bradford's like, I don't want to get in the middle of this. It's not my problem, which is fair. It's a fair stance to be in. They take eye of another person across the way who's taking pictures of VIN numbers of the officers' cars. How did he get past the security? I'm not really sure. Bradford and Chen notice he's suspicious, chases after him. He gets into the hotel. Nolan and Bradford take over the Nolan and Harper take over the finding of him, but he ditches half of his attire, so it's kind of hard to identify him. And then inevitably they run into this guy who's kind of like jittery, kind of like nervous, not at all like an undercover cop at all. They go into the elevator, like question him, and he's like, oh, I'm a big macho action guy. Like, he's just quoting movies. He's just like acting like a movie character, and I was like, yeah, no, that's way definitely not how real life works. They stun him and arrest him, so they already got that handled. And also, meanwhile, on Bradford's case, yeah, we go to Bradford. Is surveilling the hotel rooms. He runs into his friends and his wife having an argument that well, the other woman is not letting the wife in because they were doing some stuff and they don't want to get involved. Bradford tries to intervene. The other woman is not budging. Bradford breaks down the door. Turns out the guy is ODing. Yeah, that's the weird thing. Like, I know these are party people. Come on, the guy is clearly ODing, and you're not even trying to get some help. I mean, I'd rather go get in trouble and pay the consequence than let someone die. Like, seriously. Bradford tries to save him. For a moment there, it kind of looks like he's going to die. Chen comes in with some smelling salts to kind of wake him back up. And then inevitably it does work. But then the whole, the thrill of, like, hoping he's still alive downgrades to, like, reality where it's like, yeah, he's cheating, he's doing drugs, he's ruining his life. His wife walks out on him. So he's kind of screwed over there. Meanwhile, after that, in the parking lot at the end of the day, Chen goes to talk. Well, Chen's on her way out, and she talks to Harper, and she admits that she was very enthralled by Harper's speech, and like Chen is beginning to start to consider what are her options in a post rookie world, and being undercover is something she's definitely want to explore, and wants to talk to Harper about it. Harper's game to do it at the moment. Chen even delays the interview she had with her. I still don't have a name for her. It's not mentoree. Is it mentoree? Well, the mentoree, the high school girl. You know what I'm talking about. But before they're off to go get drinks, Harper gets a call from the same her friend from before. Turns out the reason why she was being pulled away from the seminar is that she was being trailed by someone. She was another operative. Somewhat operative, a connection she has to the overall operation she was at, so she calls Harper in for backup. Chen tags along too because this could be a good learning experience for her. Also, there's another scene where Nolan gets identified by one of his classmates. The classmate takes a picture of him, and he drives off the class. And it's like, oof, Nolan's screwed. When Nolan gets to the class, everyone hates him. It's an everyone hates Nolan moment because Nolan's a cop. He's here to undercover. He's going to infiltrate BLM, which is weird on the timing since I'm pretty sure they could have retconned this, but like BLM, like Black Lives Matter, happened in 2020, and they're clearly, I think, it's still in 2019 in the timeline. So, again, I don't know why I'm really complaining about this much since technically in this world there is no COVID. So, I'm not really going to be a stickler on that. So they could just retcon it, whatever. They all have this ethical discussion of like why should or shouldn't Nolan admit to his police cop occupation. There's a really good back and forth between him and the classmates, and there's still like that bit of a murky gray, like no one's trusting him, no one's obviously on Team Nolan, which I don't even know why they bother. They're eventually going to be Team Nolan. I mean, come on, you cannot not be swayed by this guy. You cannot. So from there, so we head over to Chen and Harper. They headed to the bar. Chen goes in undercover first to check on the situation. She poses as the chemist for the upcoming drug deal that's about to happen to prove that the drugs that they're selling is legit. The guy is being a little bit on edge because he doesn't trust anyone. He doesn't trust her at all, which makes very much sense. On their way out, Harper and them break up a potential like jump in case something happens. They I think her name was Coco or something. I think that was her name. I want to say that's like a very ironic name, but Harper's friend frightens the dealer, the connector, is like, listen, don't have me trailed again, or I swear to God, the price will just go up even more so. So, yeah, what was it? Nah, I don't exactly remember. So anyway, actually, I think they're selling the drug, and he's the one who wants to buy it. I think that's the case, because they're bringing the money. I believe so. I could be wrong, but anyway. So Chen manages to convince her way to be the chemist, and they convince the other guys to like, back off. We'll have the deal tomorrow. Just be there with the money, and they drive off. Chen gets excited and a little bit praised for like, doing so well on this last minute on the spur undercover that kind of saved the whole operation. But they have to like get her more preps, and now that she's involved, she's now fully a part of this operation. So they have no choice but to get her involved even more. The next day, yeah, what happened the next day? So the next day, Bradford fills in Gray about the whole his buddy situation with the drug problem, and Bradford's telling him, we need to get him off the force. We need to like to. They're basically like, because the thing is that Bradford's been in this situation before with his wife back in season 1. Well, now his ex-wife, and there's a little bit of like murkiness there because like Bradford's dealt with it, but he's not trying to repeat his action by just leaving the problem alone and delaying the inevitable solution. So he recommends to Gray to kick him off the force and like I think convict him because like we got a line like I wasn't paying attention to the scene much at all. I was busy doing something else off the side for a little bit. That's what I mean. Gray also fills in Bradford that Chen's being pulled away for the day to work on the undercover op, but Bradford's definitely not a fan, especially once he pops into the bullpen while everyone's getting ready for this undercover op, filling in Chen on the ins and outs, what she should be doing. Bradford goes in to confront once the meeting is over. He gets a little bit pushy. Harper just backs up like, look, this was Chen's choice. She's part of this now. You got to let her do it, like, that sort of thing. Bradford kind of gives her like a scolding lesson, like, they're just using you sort of spiel. Harper diffuses Chen's newfound tension. Do we get another scene with Nolan? I want to say, or did we just cut to the? I think we just cut. Yeah, Nolan wasn't in that much this week. Like Nolan wasn't here a lot, but you all know what I mean. So they head over to the side of the drug trade, the drug buy. I can't speak English tonight. I apologize. Harper and Coco. I'm gonna assume that's their name by this point because I'm real. Coco's just sticking in my head right now. Are just like reminding Chen one more time on just code words and just like fail safes in case something goes wrong. Chen's approving to all of it. Harper asks her the obvious question: are you nervous? Because it's all right to be nervous. You can use that against them in case something does go like a little bit off the rails. The buyers contact and some armored men show up. Chen goes to approve the chemical and that sort of speak. Then another buyer comes in. Well, the real buyer comes in, demands Chen gets in the car to prove that she really is a chemist. So it's kind of like it's a kind of a minorly tense scene since like Bradford and Nolan are like off in the distance, just waiting for something to happen, hoping that Chen is all right. So while they're in the car, the real buyer he questions Chen about her knowledge in chemistry, and asks her like, draw me the actual component, the actual outline for the drug, just to prove it. They also have a little bit back and forth in his native tongue, and Chen reveals that she knows the language since she had a best friend growing up that came from that city, so she learned a lot of it. Chen manages to ace his little test. He tries to test her by asking her, "Do you want to? We could kill both of your other friends, and then you get 50% of the money." Which, honestly, I know this is a very stupid thing to say, but like that is the most stupidest fucking deal I've ever heard. Like she's gonna kill 2 people and is only gonna get 50%. Nah, it's a stupid deal. Chen doesn't take it. She backs out. The other guy gives them the money to complete the transaction. Once the money's confirmed, they call on the rest of the cops. They arrest them. They're still trying to play the part that like it was all set up, so to speak, so that their identities don't get blown. Bradford gives Chen a little bit of a congratulations. Harper does as well. Then, I forgot. Chen also blew off the girl. She tries to apologize to her and tries to reschedule for that night, which she does. She does because that night she brings over Harper and the other woman. They kind of all give her some scoop to use for her project, which is fairly cool. It's a fairly cool like mom's moment or just like a cool parent moment. It was awesome. It was a really nice scene. Bradford, meanwhile, gets chewed out by his friend's wife, since now that apparently... So, the officer that Bradford was friends with, he's now going to get potentially prosecuted, and he loses his pension, and he's going to prison. And so, how is the wife going to take care of their kids? Which, I'm like, look, I know that this is a tough situation, but Bradford was in the right to demand, like, yeah, he's not fit to serve. He's not fit to be stable enough to be working. But it's, yeah, and it's fair because, like, that was his choice for getting involved in that thing. It's his part. Bradford did the right thing. And even Bradford says that, like, I know I made some exceptions for my own ex-wife, but I'm trying to be different. This is the now. I have to be more different, have to be more assertive. I have to know what's right or wrong. And the wife's like, nah. Now you should supposed to be looking out for yourselves. I'm like, not at all. You are completely wrong with that. But anyway, the episode ends with Nolan heading back to his classroom, even on an off day. Which I'm curious. Like, well, if the professor said there's no class that day, and no one still showed up, and she's also still there, what was she doing in class? Because I definitely know college professors mostly don't show up on a day when they're not supposed to be at the school. So yeah, I believe from there. Yeah, I said Nolan just asked her, like, how should I approach this? Like, how should I not just report the paper, but like, how should I present to myself in terms of, like, with my profession and my career, and also, like, keeping this a secret from the others. Like, what should I be doing to, not to make sure that I'm doing the right thing here? And she's like, honestly, look, it's your thing. You got to figure out your own way. Like, for her, like, he should have admitted it, but, like, everyone's different, so that sort of thing. So Nolan's off to figure out more stuff as he's finding his way to get his college degree. How long will this take? I don't know. But at least for this week, that was the end of the episode. So overall, yeah, I really did think this episode. I think it was their most solid episode yet. I think the whole theme of, like, moving on up to the next level. Like, what's next for these guys after this, and what are they willing to, like, fight for and, like, do to, like, get to that moment, which was a pretty cool theme. I especially love the scene where, like, Chen's starting to figure out, like, this season's been very kind to Chen in terms of, like, figuring out, like, a solid direction. She's like, this season loves Chen so much, and I love it too. Again, I love the fact that they're not ignoring the neighborhood storyline. They're still keeping that going. I really hope we see more of that in the coming weeks, or at least towards the end of the season. I don't want to see it just be written off or anything, so hopefully that'll be the case. And Nolan in college is something that's still funny in my head, and, like, I can't wait to see more of it. I really can. But I'm going to give this episode 2 thumbs up. I really enjoyed it, really digged it, and I think that's going to do it for me tonight, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's in the Tube from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the Rookie's 3rd season. If you want to know what we're doing overall on What's in the Tube, besides those episode reviews, we're doing Nancy Drew Season 2 episode reviews each and every Thursday morning after a brand new episode on Wednesday nights on the CW, and free the next day on the CW app and the CW.com. We're also doing Walker episode reviews each and every Friday morning after a brand new episode on Thursday nights on the CW, and then free the next day on the CW app and the CW.com. But Walker is on a little bit of a hiatus for the next 2 weeks, so we'll be posting some quick impressions the fellow time. This week on the quick impressions time slot, we have the Spectacular Spider-Man, and I geek out a lot in that episode review, so go check that out on Friday morning. But if you don't care about the Rookie, you're in luck. We'll be back next week with another episode review. Can't wait for that. It seems gonna be a little weird. I gotta do research. Like, some of this footage, like, seems very familiar per se, and, like, I might not be a big fan. I gotta do some research, but otherwise we'll be back next week for the next episode review. But again, this has been What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see more of us, please subscribe to ActionX on YouTube.com. Ring that bell for notification when our next Rookie review is live, which is each and every Monday morning. Like, favorite, share this review if you want to, and it does help us out. Helps us feed the larger YouTube algorithm, so we can get us out there to other members of the Rookie Nation who has yet to discover us. And also, it's all for free. Follow us on social media to be up to date on updates. Follow us on Twitch to be up to date on streams, if I can ever fix my damn Elgato. And yeah, so for you members of the Rookie Nation, I'll see y'all next week on the next episode review. But until then, stay safe out there, be good to each other, and as always, peace out.